You're going to lose more than $2 million in your lifetime. Not in a crash, not in a scam. You'll hand it over slowly, one quiet decision at a time, and you'll never feel the exact moment it's gone. Here's the strange part. The mistake that costs you all that money doesn't look like a mistake at all. It looks responsible. It looks like success. It looks like exactly what everyone around you is already doing. It's not buying coffee. It's not forgetting to make a budget. Those are tiny. This is the big one. The silent leak, hiding inside choices you've been told your whole life are smart. By the end of this, you're going to understand something called opportunity cost. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. You'll look at every car, every house, every good deal differently for the rest of your life. So let's find the leak. 1. The day your future changed. There's a single day in almost everyone's life that changes their financial future forever, and almost no one notices it while it's happening. It's not dramatic. There's no warning sign. Maybe you're sitting in a dealership and someone slides a piece of paper across the desk. Maybe you're walking through an apartment that's just a little nicer than the last one. You feel a small thrill in your chest. You think, I've earned this. You sign, you smile, you drive away, or you move in. And in that moment, you don't just buy a thing, you buy a payment that will follow you for years and quietly close doors you didn't even know were open. Here's what no one tells you. Every dollar you have lives 2 lives. The first life is the thing you buy with it. The second life is everything that same dollar could have become if you'd kept it and let it grow. Most people only ever see the first life. They never meet the second. So that car you're proud of isn't just costing you the number on the window sticker. It's quietly costing you the entire future that money was supposed to build. And that future is worth far, far more than the car. You won't feel it today. You won't feel it next year. That's exactly why it's so dangerous. The most expensive mistakes of your life don't hurt at all when you make them. But to understand how one ordinary choice turns into $1 million hole, you first have to understand the lie almost everyone has been told about money. 2. The lie everyone believes. The lie sounds completely harmless. You've probably said it yourself. Can I afford the monthly payment? That one little question has quietly drained more wealth from regular people than almost anything else on earth. Because it's the wrong question, and the entire system is built to make sure you keep asking it. Think about how everything is sold to you now, not the price, the payment. $400 a month, $600 a month, just a little more each month. The big, scary number disappears, and a small, friendly number takes its place. This is a trick your own brain falls for every single time. $600 a month doesn't feel like $90,000 over the life of a loan. It feels like a streaming subscription. So you say yes, and then you say yes again to the next thing, and the next. Here's the part that stings. Affording something has almost nothing to do with whether you can cover the payment. You can cover every payment on time and still be quietly going broke, because every payment you lock in is money you can never invest. Real wealth isn't about what you can pay for, it's about what you refuse to pay for. The wealthiest people you'll ever meet aren't the ones with the most stuff. They're the ones who learn to look at something shiny, feel the pull, and walk away. When you start asking a different question, not, can I afford the payment, but, what is this payment costing my future? Everything changes. Because the truth is, the price tag was never the real price. So what is the real price? That's where the hidden math comes in. The math almost no one ever bothers to do. 3. The hidden math nobody calculates. Let's do the math no one does. And don't worry, there's no spreadsheet here. Just one simple idea that's going to rearrange how you see money. Imagine you take $600 a month, about the cost of one nice car payment, and instead of handing it to a dealer, you put it into a basic investment that quietly grows over time. Nothing risky, no hot stock tip, just the boring, steady kind of investing that has worked for decades. Now here's where it gets strange. Money doesn't grow in a straight line. It grows like a snowball rolling downhill, slow at first, then faster, then almost unbelievably fast. In the early years, it feels like nothing is happening. You put money in, it grows a tiny bit, and you start to wonder if it's even worth it. But underneath the surface, something powerful is building. Your money starts earning money, and then that money starts earning money too. The growth begins to feed on itself. Give it enough time, and that one car-sized payment doesn't turn into a car, it turns into a fortune. Over a full working lifetime, $600 a month can quietly grow into more than $2 million. Read that again. The exact same money. One version of you ends up with a driveway full of worn-out cars headed for the junkyard. The other version ends up with freedom. That gap is opportunity cost. It's not what you spent, it's what that spending could have become. And it's invisible, which is exactly why it's so deadly. You never see the $2 million, so you never feel like you lost it. But you did. Every locked-in payment is a tiny piece of that fortune leaking out, drop by drop, year after year. And here's the scary part. Most people don't make this mistake just once. They make it again and again, in a pattern so common it actually has a name. 4. The lifestyle trap. It's called lifestyle inflation, and it's the quietest wealth killer of them all. Here's how it works. You get a raise. For about a week, you feel rich. Then something strange happens. The bigger paycheck slowly starts to feel normal, so you upgrade. A nicer car, a bigger place, better clothes, a few more subscriptions you'll forget you're even paying for. And just like that, you're broke again, only now at a higher income. This is the trap that keeps people running forever. You'd think earning more would set you free, but for most people, more money just buys more expensive chains. The raise that should have built your future gets spent before it ever gets the chance. Why do we keep doing this? Because so much of our spending was never really about the thing. It was about the message. The car says you're doing well. The house says you've made it. The watch says you're not the person you used to be. You're not buying objects. You're buying an identity, and identity is expensive. There's an even deeper reason this is so hard to escape. We're wired to compare ourselves, not to strangers, but to the people right next to us. The neighbor's new truck, the coworker's vacation photos. Your brain reads all of it as a scoreboard, and it whispers, you're falling behind. So you spend to catch up to people who are also spending to catch up to you. It's a race with no finish line. And while everyone's busy racing, the one thing that could actually make them free, invested money, quietly compounding in the background, never gets a chance to grow. Now here's a question almost no one ever asks. If this trap is so costly, why does the whole world seem perfectly designed to keep you stuck in it? Who actually benefits when you're spending every dollar you earn? The answer might make you a little uncomfortable. 5. Why employers secretly benefit. Think about what happens when your spending rises to match your income. When every dollar you earn already has a job before it even arrives. You become trapped. Not by a person, by your own bills. When your lifestyle eats your entire paycheck, you simply can't afford to lose your job. Not for a month, not for a week. And a person who can't afford to walk away has quietly given up most of their power. This has a name: golden handcuffs. The pay is good, the lifestyle is comfortable, but the comfort is the cage. You can't take the risk, start the business, turn down the bad boss, or move toward the work you actually want, because the payments are due on the 1st. Here's the uncomfortable truth. A workforce that's buried in payments is a workforce that shows up, stays quiet, and doesn't ask for too much. People who depend on the very next paycheck rarely negotiate hard. They can't. The handcuffs are already on. This isn't some secret meeting in a back room. Nobody planned it. It's just how the system naturally works. The more you owe, the less free you are. And the less free you are, the easier you are to keep. Now flip it around. Imagine having enough invested that you could survive a full year with no job at all. Suddenly, you're a completely different person at work. You speak up, you ask for more, you take the smart risk, not because you're braver, but because you're free. That's what compounding money really buys you. Not just stuff later, options now, the ability to say no. So if freedom is the real prize, what does the path to it actually look like? To see it clearly, let's watch two ordinary people walk two very different roads, starting from the exact same place. 6. The millionaire decision. Picture two people, same age, same job, same paycheck. They start on the same morning at the same company. From the outside, you couldn't tell them apart. The first one does what feels completely normal. Every few years, a newer car, a bigger house with a bigger payment. Every raise turns into an upgrade. Their life looks fantastic in photos, but every dollar is already spoken for. They're comfortable and completely stuck. The second one looks almost boring by comparison. They drive a used car that runs just fine. They live in a home that costs less than they could afford. And the gap, the money the first person spent on all those upgrades, they quietly invest every single month. And then they forget about it. For the first 10 years, nobody is impressed by the second person. The first one looks like the clear winner. Nicer things, newer everything, more to show off. But underneath the surface, the snowball is rolling. Around year 15, the second person's investments quietly pass $100,000. By year 20, they've crossed several $100,000. And somewhere around year 30, that boring, patient choice crosses a line the first person never even got close to. More than $2 million. Same salary, same starting line. One of them ends with a driveway full of cars that are already falling apart, and a stack of bills that never stops. The other ends with enough money to never need a paycheck again. The difference wasn't luck. It wasn't a lottery ticket or some secret skill. It was a series of small, quiet decisions, repeated over time while almost no one was watching. That's the whole game. Wealth isn't built in one dramatic moment. It's built in the unglamorous choices you make on completely ordinary days. And it all comes down to one simple shift in how you think. A shift that changes what you're really buying every time you spend. 7. Buying time instead of status. Here's the shift. Most people spend money to buy things. Wealthy people spend money to buy time. Every time you invest instead of upgrade, you're not giving something up. You're buying a piece of your future back. You're purchasing days you won't have to work. Mornings you'll get to keep. Years of your one life that you're quietly taking off the market. Sit with that for a second. A car payment buys you a car that's worth a little less every single day. The very same money invested buys you freedom that's worth a little more every single day. One goes down, the other goes up. They're heading in opposite directions, and the gap between them slowly becomes your entire life. This is the mindset that separates the trapped from the free. It's not about being cheap. It's not about saying no to everything and living a miserable, joyless life. It's about knowing exactly what you're trading every time. When you understand that $200 today could become a free week of your life down the road, you stop seeing money as something to spend. You start seeing it as something to convert into time, into choices, into a life that actually belongs to you. The trapped person asks, "What can I buy?" The free person asks, "What is this buying me back?" And here's the beautiful part. You don't need to already be rich to start. You don't need a perfect plan or a giant paycheck. You just need to understand the trade and then make it on purpose, again and again. So how do you actually begin? How do you step off the treadmill that has quietly eaten the future of almost everyone you know? It's simpler than you think, and you can start today. 8. The escape plan. Let's make this real. Here's how you start taking that $2 million back. First, find your leak. Look honestly at where your money locks itself in. The payments, the upgrades, the subscriptions you completely forgot about. You're not doing this to feel guilty. You're hunting for the dollars that could be living a second life. Second, pay your future self first. Before the money disappears into bills and upgrades, send a piece of it straight into an investment account, automatically, every month, so you never have to rely on willpower. Even a small amount started right now beats a large amount started later. Time is the ingredient that does the heavy lifting. Third, keep it simple. You don't need to pick winning stocks or guess what the market will do tomorrow. Plain, low-cost index funds, the boring kind that simply follow the whole market, have quietly built more wealth for ordinary people than almost any clever strategy ever has. Boring is the point. Boring compounds. Fourth, protect your lifestyle from your raises. When you earn more, don't upgrade everything at once. Let a chunk of that raise flow straight into your future before you ever get used to having it. The goal isn't to live small forever. It's to grow your wealth faster than you grow your wants. And fifth, give it time. And then leave it alone. The snowball only works if you stop kicking it apart. The people who win this game aren't the ones who do something brilliant. They're the ones who do something simple, and then have the patience to let it grow. That's it. No secret, no trick. Just a handful of quiet decisions made on purpose, starting today. Because the day you start is the day your future changes. This time, on your terms. So let's go back to that $2 million. It was never going to vanish in a crash or a scam. It was always going to leak out slowly through ordinary choices that looked completely normal. One payment, one upgrade, one "I've earned this" at a time. That's how almost everyone loses it. Quietly, without ever feeling the moment it's gone. But now, you've seen it. And once you can see the leak, you can close it. The decision you make today, the next car, the next upgrade, the next dollar, doesn't just affect this month. It echoes across decades. A few $100s, chosen wisely now, can become the difference between working forever and being free, between a life that owns you and a life you own. You don't have to be rich to begin. You just have to begin. Because the most powerful force in money isn't your income. It's time. And the only moment you'll ever have more of it is right now. If this changed the way you see money, subscribe. Because the next financial decision you make could be worth more than every paycheck still ahead of you. Start today. Start small. And let it grow. Your future self is already out there, waiting. Go meet them.